We're back again. I'm Shawn from DevoApparel.store, and this is Inspired Conversations. And today I have a very special guest with me. Raw.Deen is back with us.
Yes, sir.
New album, Not For Sale, is out. Streaming platforms now. And dude, I'm not gonna lie, it is the last time that we did the interview, I was telling you how much I loved the single that you had at the time, Pride Inside. And I still rock that song to this day. It's on my playlist. I love that song. And I was just listening to all your songs, and then this album, and this isn't me just bigging you up or anything like this. I tell this to anyone, my friends. The progression. Can you keep getting better? How's that shit happen? It's a good project, man. It really is. I was hyped. I love the marketing behind it. I loved how you deleted everything off your page. You had it blacked out for a while, which made me think there might be a Kanye reference. You know what I mean? There was a lot of marketing behind it. The tattoo, talked a little off camera about that. So just break down what Not For Sale even means. I know, but I want to hear you talk about it. The concept. Why name it Not For Sale? What's that mean?
All of them are just multi-level meanings behind everything. The reason I got the tattoo is just because partly just because the sentiment of it, and that's just really how I feel. Yeah. And amongst the culture of just everyone having to sacrifice their values for money or whatever the case may be. And second, back in the day, when they were slaves and shit, and all of the runaways, if you ran away, then they branded R on your head. So it was just you know what I'm saying? Another almost sense of rebellion from the establishment to just carry that brand. You know what I'm saying? Of just I'm not about to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw, still fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that was, and I signed my first distribution and publishing, and so this is my first record or release under a company other than something independent like DistroKid that's accessible to everyone. And I just wanted to come in with a heavy sentiment that represents who I am.
Dude, and that's the reason I wanted to start there, is because when I saw it, I just immediately thought of exactly what you broke down. I mean, not everything you broke down, but especially the sentiment of not compromising. I'm not backing down. Win, lose, draw, I'm here. You're gonna have to deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna budge from this. Is immediately what I got. This is my art form. This is my platform. And take it or leave it, and so I wanted to start there because I think it's such a cool concept for an album title, because of course we sell this, you know what I mean? But saying Not For Sale is more of I am who I am, and I'm not sacrificing that. Right. The integrity behind that, because and we've talked real talk on here before together, there's a lot of people who would do a lot of things for a little bit of money or a little bit of attention, but to know what you're worth, I think, is so huge and so important. And it's how you stand out. It's not going with the norm. It's not following what everyone else is doing. It's not following the trend. I'm not saying you don't play, you know what I mean? Play ball.
No, you gotta play the game.
Play the game how it's supposed to be played, but also understand that you can keep your integrity with what you do. You know what I mean? You can keep your sound. You can keep what you bring to the table is important and unique, and that's the shit that sticks. That's the shit that stays around. That's the shit that will always be relevant.
No shit. You gotta get 10 as a man, bro. And at the end of the day, it's we all sell ourselves in certain ways. You work a job where you have to go and get money because you need things that you need to do. And nobody wants to work a fucking job for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Especially jobs that people don't like, but you need it so you can get money. So it's we all sell ourselves in ways, but when it comes to certain things, and to everyone is different, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to certain things, it's just there's not a price on that. there's not a price on going back on that value. There's not a price of like,
Yeah.
you feel me, selling off my mom or some shit, you feel me, or like somebody that I care about, or like even aspects of myself. It's like, it's ultimately what it's all about.
Yeah,
For the
your
rep-
standards. Like we all have standards of how we want to live, right? Like our they're personal standards too. Like everyone might not know mine, everyone might not know yours, but we know them. We know what our lines are, and when we cross those things, um, even for the sacrifice of something that we think we might enjoy, we're always going to regret when we sell that part of ourselves. So yeah, man, that's why I wanted to get there. So going with that theme, the not for sale, how did the project come together? I mean, what was it? Just like different inspirations? Name came last, name come first. Like, just kind of want to get into like the process of this album.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of just like we had met up with someone and it looked like it might be a potential opportunity, and I just had to whip something up. And it was like partially like, I'm not gonna say for the distribution deal, but that was my intention towards it, just having something for this person that could present opportunity, and coming with it quick. I put this whole project together in like 2 weeks and then submitted it to the to John. And like there are a couple of songs like Killing Them Dead is maybe like a year old, like Run Around, the first half of City on Fire, and also the first song as well. The only really new songs that came like was like Two Girlfriends, Just Leave Me Alone, Okay, Cry No More, and the second half of City on Fire. But for the most part, like I just have so much music that it's like I could just, you know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
just come together with like, okay, this is what I want to speak of as a project. So it's like when Michael Jackson made Thriller, they said they went through 700 songs to pick seven. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like it's just going through that selection, and I ain't saying I had 700 good songs to pick from. You know what I'm saying? I had probably like 200 to pick from, and out of those, only 50 were bearable. So I had to like narrow
Yeah.
it down. Like I'm not Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, but you know what I'm saying? It's the same idea, and it's going for the same like aspect of abundance, and just getting the absolute uh the sharpest tool in the shed. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
sharpest tool in the shed rather, and presenting that. And you know, even then, I like to know people's least favorite from the album. I have a least favorite from the album, but still, there's something for everyone. Not everyone has the same least favorite, and not everyone has the same most favorite. I've heard so many people's least favorite be so many people's most favorite, and I've heard so many people's most favorite be so many people's least favorite. But like one thing that I wanted to accomplish was having something for everybody. I want each person to get away with it like, okay, these are two things that I can hold close, that I can feel. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what emotion you're feeling from it, it's the emotion that I put into it that's gonna rub off on you, and the frequencies playing that's gonna subconsciously, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
take their toll on you.
Yeah. Man, there's so much I want to break down about that. So the first thing, when you were talking about, Michael Jackson going through 700 songs to get, Thriller, and the idea of this constant work ethic that ends up producing greatness, right? Because like you said, not every project, out of that 700, they weren't all Thriller, they weren't all Billie Jean. You know what I mean? But Billie Jean was in the 700.
Right.
And the idea that the more we produce, right, the more that we work on our craft, the more that we're just in there doing it, whatever that is. If it's me doing the interviews or writing the speeches or designing the clothes for you, the same, like designing clothes, recording, the songs, mixing, mastering, whatever. It's in that process that we find the diamond, right? Like it's in the process that we find that's the one. And then, like you said, which one hits someone else? Like everyone's gonna have a different favorite on Thriller, right? Like I love PYT. Not everybody likes that song. You know what I mean? I think it's fire. Like I just think it's slick as hell. You know what I mean? But it ain't everybody's favorite. And so the idea is once again, you're in the booth, you're creating. And it's the reason I wanted to ask the question, because I know you're always working. You're always working on something. Like, hell, you're probably recording right now on other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. Like I knew it. And so I love, like you said, it's accumulation. When the opportunity came, I was ready. And that was the second thing I wanted to mention. So we hear the illustration all the time, but like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Les Brown says it this way: it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. So that's where
rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly. So if you're ready, then when it presents itself, hey, we got a publishing deal. Yeah, got 7 right now. Let's drop it. Like, I'm ready. Let me touch a few things up. Let me throw a new one on there. I'm good. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready for the second one.
The whole wait was just a release date.
Yeah.
I submitted in October. So I just was planning, okay, how am I gonna like build anticipation for this album? And I was just like, all right, New Year's, because obviously you want to start Q1. You're with a brand new company. Like, I'm not about to start halfway through Q4 in the middle of the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it almost feels selfish unless you're like Drake or somebody, where like, you know, everyone just sits still and listens anytime you drop. It's like, yeah. So basically, yeah, it's just a process of planning more than anything else. It's not even really the music. Business beats talent in the music industry. And it's not like that in every other industry. If you're a basketball player, your talent is everything. It don't matter. It don't matter what you saying off the court. It don't matter what you doing, how you look, how you carry yourself. If you're putting up 60 points a game and 10 rebounds and 10 steals and 10 assists, then it's just like, bruh, you're hooping. You know what I'm saying? And that's just straight up undeniable. In music, you can have somebody that's putting up 10 points that has a crazy amount of flair, and they have 3 rebounds, but it looks good. And then they have a steal, but they just get a crazy press release on it or something like that. And now all of a sudden these people are superstars.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's just like, it's not a fair game. So you kind of, like I said, just playing to it, understanding that the system's not right, but still like doing what you can to navigate through it. Because you can't just lay down or you're going to get fucked.
True. True. And that's an interesting concept, because at first, when you first said that, I was almost going to interject and say, I think it's like that in everything. But then when you went on with the basketball illustration, that's true. I mean, you can be, now granted, if your business isn't good, you might be the star player and making shit for it, you know, in comparison to other people, because you didn't handle your business right. But like you said, it doesn't necessarily matter about your public image or whatever else is going on. Dennis Rodman did just fine. You know what I mean? Like,
matters a lot less.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think it's so important to make sure in whatever you're doing that your business is legit. And then knowing, like you said, especially in the music industry, it's whoever has the most money behind them. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're going to hear on the radio. That's what you're going to hear in rotation. But when you're putting in the type of work you've been putting in with the different songs and stuff like that, and that was where I was kind of diving in there. It was the same thing with like when Kanye West, and a lot of people consider this his best album, like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, you know, or at least a lot of people consider it like the perfect album, you know. And it's like he was making so much music in that time that he's doing, you know, Good Fridays where he's just giving away music because there's so much being produced. But yet that was like a brilliant marketing plan, because every Friday you're getting new songs from the album, and most of them ain't even going to be on the album, so you know that you're going to get more music in the end. And so it's a great marketing way to build it up, but it comes through having this great work ethic of just being in the zone, producing the product, and then figuring out, how do I market that product? You know what I mean? How do I get the anticipation to be built for that? I was watching the Carter documentary, and to see Lil Wayne like at his pinnacle of the Carter 3, And every time he's like in a hotel room, he's got a black bag that he's opening up and he's getting the mic out. And it's like, dude, this dude's just never working. Even when they tell him that the Carter 3 sold 1 million in 1 week, he's on the tour bus recording. And they're like, you sold 1 million? He's like, dude, I was just recording. Like, that's it. I'm just recording.
I'm selling another 1 million.
Yeah, I'm focusing on the next. Or like when Jordan wins a championship, and then, you see him on the sideline and he's holding up 3, and he just won the second one though. But he's holding up 3, and then he wins the third one. He's holding up 4. Like, he's already thinking about, well, what's that next one look like? I got 5. What's 6 feel like?
No, for real.
So, yeah, man, I love that. I love the constantly grinding and just having the product ready, because you never know when that moment's going to happen. Sometimes we get those moments where it's the layup, it's the alley-oop, it's all the things are coming together, and and so like you said, it's like, hey, wait a minute, the new year's coming. Everyone has that whole like new year, new me mindset anyways. Let me just play into that a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me just pick that time to roll with it. And so, yeah, man, I love that.
Sure.
That's good shit. So, I'm looking at my questions here, and there's this one thought that just keeps going through my mind, and it's process, right? And I know we just talked a lot about it just then, but I'm a firm believer that what we do on a daily basis creates the future, right? And it's everything. It's your thoughts, it's your actions, because thoughts lead to actions. It's what you say, it's what you don't say, it's where you go, it's where you don't go, right? Like, all of that is producing tomorrow. So if you have a plan for the future, there's a plan to start today, right? So what you do today is going to definitely impact tomorrow. And so thinking about, like you said, the publishing deal, like I remember seeing you would post different things about that or whatever. And then it was just kind of like, no more talk about that. You know what I mean? And then slowly I'm seeing things come off your page. And then slowly, like I said, like it blacks out on the profile picture. And I remember messaging you like, dude, does this mean what I think this means? like who are you with? What are you doing? And then but slowly just seeing that. So how has the process since signing that deal, this is the question, has your process changed any? Do you feel like with what you're going to be doing, what you just released, or do you feel like it's just the same process, it's just got a battery pack in it? Or maybe it's just...
I've been making music at this point for 13 years, and I'm 25. So that's more time than I've been alive. And then, you know what I'm saying? More time I've been alive making music than not making music. But it's always like been those little moments where it's like, all right, like this the big shot, you know what I'm saying? Like, here come the lob, and you build your excitement up towards that, and it's rarely ever that. So like you kind of just like become callous with a sort of disappointment, but that disappointment almost builds like a defense and a preparation. So it's just like going into that whole situation, I know who I'm dealing with and I know the name behind it and this and that, but I'm not an expert. I don't know what's really going to be done for me. I don't know if it's, I don't know the motive behind that. I don't know anything. I've always just been a skeptical person. So it's just like, I just kind of do me until something happens. And so I guess to answer the question, the process doesn't really change because I can't depend on anything else. If I depend on anything else, then it could work if whatever I'm dependent on works. But if whatever I'm dependent on doesn't work, then I don't work.
Mm.
And so it's just like, kind of just got to treat every single thing with a grain of salt. People tell me things, and I'm kind of just like, all right. And when I see it, then it'll still be all right. You could tell me you got a show for 1 million people for me. Come down to where you at right now?
Kentucky.
Because I got 1 million people who want to see Raw.Deen in Kentucky. Come down, and then I'd be all right. And then like I still wouldn't really believe it. And then I see the plane ticket, and they'll be like, all right. And then you know what I'm saying? I see the venue, and they'll be like, all right. But it's like until I'm going out for that moment, then it doesn't exist.
Mm.
So I don't build anticipation around the existence of the moment, because at any point it could not exist. And then if it doesn't, then I'm just sick about it. Fuck my whole day up. So I don't like having my day fucked up. So I just don't build anticipation towards things until their existence is 100%. Except with certain things. Obviously, you have spirituality and faith and things like that. But I don't hold faith in like mortals, because who really knows with us,
Yeah, it's such an interesting thought. I was listening to something earlier, and they were talking exactly about what we're talking about now, about the idea of like, because I believe in manifestation. I mean, you talked about it before, like just when you start to believe something, and it starts to change the way that you interact with it, right? So when you have a strong sense of belief that it's there, and the guy said, I used to drive through LA, and I would drive by these really nice houses, and I would drive in these nice neighborhoods, and I would see people. He wanted to be an actor. He's like, I would drive by the studios, and I would see the actors leaving the studios, and he said I would leave that part of LA, and I would tell myself, all of that's mine, I just don't have access to it. And he said, but where most people mess up with manifestation is they fixate on it, and they have this anticipation, kind of what you're talking about, building it up to be like, it has to look like that. And then they get crushed and disappointed because they're thinking, well, why hasn't it happened yet? Why hasn't it happened yet? And he's like, for me, I just say, it's out there, it's mine. And then I just leave it there. And then one day, it becomes the Jim Carrey that we know now. You know what I mean? Like that it's a pretty crazy idea, but he was basically saying the same thing that you were saying, is like not to put so much expectation on everything. Just continue the process. Know those things are out there for you. Now you're going to accomplish those things. Like you said, have the goals, have the faith, have the hope, have all of that there. But don't put so much pressure and anticipation on this is the moment that it's going to happen. Just know it's going to happen, right? And let that influence the way that you maneuver towards it. And yeah, man, like that, it's super deep, but it's so true, because I can think about those moments where, I think a lot of times the reason why we miss opportunities is because it wasn't packaged the way we thought it would be packaged. It didn't look the way we thought it would look. It didn't feel the way we thought it would feel, because we built it to be something that it wasn't. And yeah, man, like, and another illustration of it is like, if you've ever described, like, I remember this one time I was dating this girl, and she was telling me a lot about her dad, and I had a vision in my mind of what the dude looked like, even though I had never met him, right? Because of the way she described him, the way that she talked about him, I just had this picture of this dude in my mind that was like, 7'2", 300 pounds, like just looking like The Rock or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just had this picture of this dude in my mind. It was just this big burly dude, and when I meet him, he looks like me, and I'm like, oh, what's up? You know what I mean? You skinny too. Like, okay. And so sometimes it's just a simple illustration to say sometimes we build things in our mind, so that even when we're standing in front of it, we won't accept it. We'll reject the opportunity. We'll reject the blessing because it wasn't what we thought we prayed for. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's 100% a fact.
So yeah, man, I like that. So yeah, the process should stay the same. I think because there are some situations that will make us change the process. You know, like I always refer back to this just because the come up story to me is just, I love it. But you know, 50 Cent's story when he gets shot, like he had to switch his process. He couldn't go about it the same way anymore. He's blackballed now. There's people out to get him. Like he's got to go to Canada. He's got to record in some dude's basement. You know, he's got to. He's got to go the bootleg market because that's like the only way he's gonna get his music out. Like he had to switch his process, but that's the only thing that changed was how he got the music out. Doing the music didn't change. You know what I mean? Like none of that changed. The only thing that changed was how. And sometimes we're faced with that where we just got to change the how. You know what I mean? How do I get this out? How does it get to more people? How do I market it? How do I, and whatever you're doing. Because now everyone has their own business. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own platform. Everyone has they have opportunities for that. So how are you going to market it? How are you going to make it stand out? Because now it's different. I mean, back in the day, not everyone could just record in their living room.
No, that's real shit.
You know? And so what we do to stand out, I think is...
Yeah, but I feel like it's almost gotten harder.
Speak about that, because I do too, but I'm interested to hear your point.
Because back in the day, it's just like, okay, clear blueprint, go to the studio, get a tape made out, send the tape. If they like the tape, I'll get a record deal. And it was just like, but nowadays, everyone's sending tapes to the point where I don't even check that shit anymore. Eminem literally got discovered off of sending Dr. Dre a tape. It's just like, bro, what? Like niggas ain't checking their email for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, I remember even when I was a young boy, I used to send a whole bunch of emails out. I'm glad I got different email now, so hopefully they don't know it's me. But it's like I sent mad emails out to a whole bunch of people. Like, bro, I'm 14, like trying to make it happen. Like, just you know what I'm saying? Out of the way. And it's like, yeah, nowadays it's just such an oversaturation of the market that it's also, there's industries in selling people a dream as well. There's literally industries that capitalize off of selling you shit. So you think you're getting closer to a goal, even though you're not. And they know it's fake, and they capitalize off it. Like that's literally what buying and selling streams are.
Yeah,
it's honestly, there's certain things that should really be illegal. Keep it a bean. Like playing with people's heads like that is like honestly not cool. Like and straight up lying on advertisement, calling things real views and shit like that. It's just like people are really out of their minds, man. The world is in a crazy place. I definitely wish it was back in the day. So it was just like, okay, yeah, I'll just hit the corner and rap with everybody else and build a name for myself by rapping here every day. But like, people don't go outside anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just not the same. In some ways, it's easier in the sense that making music is more accessible. You don't have to pay the $1,000 worth of studio time. You don't have to, you know what I mean? Like it's more accessible, but like you said, in getting it out, it's a lot more difficult because everybody's doing that shit. Everybody's sending the email. Everybody's, like you said, no one's checking these email addresses. In fact, most websites say we will not listen to music. They have sent so much damn music in that they're like, dude, quit sending this shit in. Like, I'm not looking for that. And so in a lot of ways it's a lot harder. And then not only that, but back in the day you could have done like what, I mean, countless people have done. Master P, David Banner, I mean, you could T.I., like anybody you want to name, record your own shit, put it out, sell it out your trunk. You can't
It's your
even sell
fucking
the
trunk.
music anymore. You know what I mean? Like, not
Lil
like
Wayne
that.
was about that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like back in the day, you can make a living even before you had the deal. You know what I mean? Like, you could just sell that shit out your trunk. People would buy that shit.
I was just, niggas straight ain't even have that much access to music.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, bro, you want to drive to the store and, you know what I'm saying, browse around and take a, you know what I mean? Or I could pull up to you in the car with a CD player in it. You could sit in this, you know what I'm saying? We could smoke a blunt, you can hear how this shit dump. And then I sell it to you, $5-10. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's it, man.
that's just so much more of a worthy transaction so many times. But it's like nowadays, it's like, oh, all your favorite artists are on iTunes. And there's no incentive to listen to someone new at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like everybody. And then, yeah. And then even when you hear some new people, like, it just sounds like the shit that you already, you know what I mean? Like, and I understand that comes to where we were talking about, like, you got to play ball, but, like, at the same time, like, I'm not going to listen to knockoff Drake. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that, you know? Like, I want your identity. I think back then, too, like, it was easier for people to come in sounding totally different than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, Nelly's popping off at the same time Ludacris is popping off. They do not sound anything alike at all. Same time Kanye West is popping off, 50 Cent. Like, none of these guys are sounding anything alike. You know what I mean? They're all sounding different and unique. And don't get me wrong, you always had fads. You know what I mean? Crunk music come around. Now you got Ice Cube with Little John. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to ride these little, like, fads and stuff. But it was a little bit easier, too, to just be yourself and be accepted. And music was a lot easier to sell, like you said, because it just wasn't as accessible. It just was not like I'm trying to sound like just some kind of
demand for it
old
was
dude
just
here.
so much higher.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
The demand for it was just so much higher.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's the supply. Like, imagine it. You go to Blockbuster back in the day and you rent one fucking movie, maybe like 2 or 3 if your parents got money. You know what I'm saying? And then you watch them bitches for a week. How many goddamn times you gonna watch it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You go to the theater and you satisfied with just seeing it once. So it's just like, you rent it, you had it at home, you know, it loses its novelty. You return it. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, people definitely not buying CDs. CDs, anybody that's buying CDs is living in a different time zone. Like, I don't know what's up with you.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, but that's the thing. Things return. You can sell records now.
Yeah.
You're better off selling a vinyl than you are a CD.
Mm-hmm.
That actually might have some worth to it.
Yeah.
Might just give myself an idea.
Well, and I noticed something the other day that I thought was a real unique idea, and I'm waiting for someone to do it. But this artist that I did an interview with, he just came out with an album, and he built a website where, like, you can stream it on his website and all that. You can download every song, and you just pay. You pay for the album. You pay like $5, and you can download it, stream it, do whatever you want. But it's only available on his website. Like, that's it. And I'm just waiting for someone like a Drake to do that. Like, Drake puts link in bio, the whole game's done. Like, it's record labels are collapsing at that point because the streaming, you know what I mean? An artist doesn't get paid shit off a stream. Like, and I mean, when you look at the numbers, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that shit doesn't add up, but what I am saying is that I think it's an important conversation to have, like, about how the landscape of music has changed, because, like, the money's different too. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of this money that artists are flaunting is advancement money, and it's like the worst type of bank loan that you can get. You know what I mean? Because you ain't gonna touch any of that stuff until you recoup that, you know? And so I don't know. There's so many different ways for artists to make money now, and that's the great thing about the landscape and change. Like you can have your own clothing brand, you can have your own. You know what I mean? It's more accessible to have all those things. Where like back in the day, very few people had that. Like you had your G Unit and your Rockaware and your Sean John, but that was about it. Yeah, you know what I mean? As far as artist owned clothing, and now like you can have so many different ways that you can make money. But yeah, music is like you said, unless you're gonna do something creative, like put out the actual vinyl album or something like that, it's a lot harder to make money off the music. You know what I mean? Solely itself as far as streams. So yeah,
That's a fact. That's something to do when you're like fucking huge, and when you're bubbling to the point where you're really just about to like be on top, or after you're already a legend. But even the thing after you're already a legend, like if Jay-Z did that right now, there are some really hardcore Jay-Z fans that'll go listen to it, but it's not like gonna be like in 2005 where everyone in the world would drop and do that. Even Drake, I don't know if it will work. Like I don't know if there's anyone right now that will work. Like Wu Tang had it cool with that one album, with the one solid album, and sell that for like $1 million.
that what was that guy? I'm laughing because that dude was, gosh, I think he's in jail now. But
Really?
But anyways, yeah, that guy buying that album. But yeah, like you said, like it's, yeah, I don't know. Even though I just said that, I don't know. It would have to be people like going with him, though. You know what I mean? Because I think Lil Wayne did something like that, where it wasn't like sold, but didn't he do like an album on Tidal exclusively, like the Free Weezy album or something like that? And I'll be honest, I didn't go check it out, and I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan, but like I was like, man, I don't got Tidal, I'm not paying for a subscription. You know what I mean? Like, but that was also because I could listen to his other music on other platforms. If all his music was gone, and the only way I could listen to it was I might. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's a fact. One of like streaming services become harmful.
Yeah.
So
or at least like a streaming platform that did like 80/20 like OnlyFans does. You know what I mean?
You know a lot about OnlyFans, brother.
We wasn't recording then, but yeah. Hey, there's a lot of ways to make money now. You know what I mean?
Get it how you get it. As long as you get it, that's all that matters.
Man. But nah, dude, I always enjoy the conversations. We always get real deep when we're talking about things, and I call that our old head segment, where we just talk about how music used to be. Even though we're both pretty young, but still, like it is crazy to think how the times change.
Nah, we old heads to somebody now, bro. Yeah. I was talking to a young boy that's like, he's a rapper, but he's half white and he's half Asian. So like, I was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, technically for the most part, like you a white rapper, bro. Like who are your inspirations? Because like a lot of white rappers' inspirations, and like my biggest inspiration was Eminem as a black person, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, especially for a white kid, I would assume that they would have Eminem at least in their top 5. Just like, oh, he's corny, bro. Like, he's been corny all my life. I'm just like, well, like, maybe, but like, what corny? Like, he was like, I mean, I guess his old shit was cool, like Rap God and shit. And I was just like, I'm like, yo, I'm fucking old. Like I'm old now. Like, this is crazy. Like, Rap God, his old shit. Like, bro, that was 2015.
Yeah, like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah.
Maybe 12, 20, but that's still crazy. It was just like, bro, like, yeah, today's youth has no fucking idea. Now I know why the old heads were so mad in my generation. Why that Ice Cube or Ice-T was saying that Soulja Boy killed hip-hop and shit. It's just maddening to just watch the youth do crazy things with the art form.
It is true, because I feel like that too. I had this guy got in my car, and see, like, for me, I used to be a white rapper, like we talked about last episode, and I I don't know why I specifically said white rapper. I mean, it's obvious what color I am. But anyways, like, in case no one knew. But no, like, for me, I'm down south. So, like, southern music. You know what I mean? So, like, my favorite rapper's T.I. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Oh no, T.I. is hard, bro. T.I. is super hard. And niggas don't give him his props for real.
Dude, they don't. And
They really don't.
even when he was trying to do that versus thing and he was saying, like, I need to go against 50 Cent, and they're like, dude, you're just not in the same league as him. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, T.I. is just, I don't know, man. He's hard. But this guy got in my car and he was like, what are you listening to? And I said, oh, man, I'm listening to T.I. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was listening to some old T.I. the other day. And I said, oh, yeah? Like, what T.I. was you listening to? And he was like, dude, it was like super old T.I. I was like, okay, like, I'm down with T.I. Like, I like every album he's put out. He said Ball featuring Lil Wayne. I'm like, what? That's not... No, that's not old T.I. And he's like, that oh, and then that one with Whole Lot of Money with, like, Iggy Azalea. And I was like, what? That's not even... No. Like, what?
Oh, yeah, that was... He did sign her.
Yeah, I was just like, that's the part of T.I. don't like. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, man. Like, I'm talking 24s. I'm talking, like, King of the South. I'm talking Be Easy, Dope Boys, I'm Serious album. Like, that's old T.I. Not no damn Ball featuring Lil Wayne. Like, that was, like, 2013.
Real shit. What you know about that, all that.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's just... But anyways, yeah, we're definitely old. But like, they'll be like 19. Like, I don't even feel like that's that young. You know what I mean? Like 20. Like, you said you're 25?
Yeah.
Like, it'll be a 19-year-old telling you that. It's like, dude, where were you when this music was coming out?
Oh, the kid was 15.
Oh, okay, well.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, goodness gracious, you kids are out of control.
Yeah, man. So what's next? What's gonna be in the pipeline? Anything you could tell us about, or... You know, music videos for the project, touring. You know, I know COVID's still got shit kind of fucked up and stuff, but
I mean, hopefully some music videos, and from there, I mean, still got 1 million singles, so we'll see. But yeah,
man,
there's gonna be a ton of. I don't know. I it's really just finding the ways to do better business. And at this point, that's what the focus is. We have enough music. We have enough music in the reserve. And it's just like, yeah, time to just have at it and do it right.
That's it, man. Yeah, I mean, that's what we started the interview with, was talking about that process and how that process produces the greatness. And then it's business is the vehicle. You know what I mean? Business is the vehicle on how we get it to the place where we need to get it. And so, dude, I'm excited about everything you got going on, man. I love the album. Everybody go stream it. I'm going to have, like, links to it on this and everything, man. Like, it's dope. So I'm ready for some music videos or whatever you do next, man. I know you got the material. I know you're putting in the work.
I just want to be the right person and just make sure that, like, the music video serves as everything that I want it to be. Because I want to do most of the direction for it, just because, like, I don't know. I got an idea for it, and I would like to expand on more skill sets than just auditory.
Yeah, like, who did the music video for Pride Inside?
That was the homie Mark, but he doesn't like to answer his phone. I'm gonna call him right now.
Dude, that video was dope. Like, just the whole, of course, like I told you, I love that song, but dude, like, it was just a cool concept, man. All the different shots y'all were doing, the, like, looking like he was in the hole, but, like, yeah, dude, it was just crazy.
Let's see if this absolute tool bag answers his phone for a stream, or if he's gonna embarrass me. He always does. Bet you he's not gonna answer. Wow, kid answers for the stream, bro. I'm on a fucking interview right now. Bro is saying how much he liked the Pride Inside video. And I was like, yeah, I've been hitting that kid up for the past week to do more work, but he's just a duck baby.
And dude, I've been sick as fuck. I'm still sick right now, bro. I'm like struggling to stay out of bed. You feel me? Like it hurts just be sitting in this chair right now. But yes, I've just been resting. You feel me?
When I was young, my dad told me excuses like assholes. Everybody got one, nigga.
Bro, you already know we shoot. Come on now, stop laughing.
Man, fuck you. I'm gonna call you back after this goddamn interview. Answer the phone, duck boy.
Okay, got you, bro.
All right, bro. I swear, that was the first time he's answered the phone in months. Literally months. Called this kid for months, doesn't answer. Wants to answer for the stream. Kids are lame.
That's funny. I've been sick for months. For a whole year.
Beating your meat, looking out the window.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that was a dope video. So I was wondering, like, if you were gonna team up with him again, or what you?
Yeah, hopefully. If he stops being a potbelly little protoplasmic ghoul.
I feel like this is a sidebar, but I feel like you would come up with some of the creative or most creative disses, like just in your inner circle, like, you know, friends will bag on each other, you know, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's why you whatever. I feel like you're the creative one. Huh?
You know who Boris Johnson is?
I
think he's basically the prime minister or something like that in the UK, but he's basically like the Trump of over there. And one time, like, he's at this thing and they're like talking to him and they're all like kind of getting pissed off because like he's like the Trump over there, but like their people kind of stand up a little bit more, like the people who are in the conversations, like their Senate and everything, like chirp a little bit more. So like they're saying something and he's just like, what? Like what? Do they not have the guts to put questions to me? And then he's like, do they not have the guts to put questions to me? And he's like, great supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies. And it was just like, hey, yo, great supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies. And then like he just walked out the room. And I started like Googling every single word. It was just like, bro, really just called them single-celled spineless organisms. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to call someone. And I was like, now I gotta get as good as him. He didn't curse one time.
Yeah, I feel like I have to rely on the crutch of a cuss word.
Yeah.
Like I gotta be like, you motherfucker, you know, like, no, you just straight says some shit that I have to go look in a dictionary to even know how you diss me. Like, I'm feeling dumb from you dissing me. Like I feel like I gotta go do research now. That's funny. Yeah, man. Well, anyways, bro, I always love the interviews. I always love getting to catch up with you. Like I said, dope project. Can't wait to see what else you work on, what else you put out. I know whatever you put out, it's going to be great. And that's one reason why I gravitate towards wanting to do interviews with you. So I'm glad we got to catch up, chop it up again. And yeah, man. Anything else you like to say?
It's going to be some absolute heat. When I get to fucking Kentucky, we're gonna go get some goddamn chicken. You got some guns?
Nah, see, this is the misconception. I'm about to move to Atlanta.
So you ain't got no guns.
I mean, maybe.
You got some guns. Come on, I got some guns too. You're talking to the right type of guy, buddy. Come on.
Why the country accent come out all of a sudden?
Bro, I was low key raised in the South halfway.
Really? Where at? What part?
South Carolina, Aiken, Charleston, North Augusta.
Okay. See, I'm on the western tip, so really like an hour and a half from Nashville. Maybe an hour or so. Like, yeah, I'm like really close to Tennessee. About 2 hours from St. Louis. So yeah, I'm just on that edge. But everybody that like when I was in the Navy, I went to I went to Chicago for basic training, and everybody just called me Kentucky, and I was just like, what the hell? Why y'all be calling me that? Like, even the drill instructors, everybody just calling me Kentucky. It was like, that's that damn accent. Like, I have an accent? They're like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, man, if you think I do, you should hear the other motherfuckers around here, because it's pretty bad when a dude has an accent and thinks that dude has an accent.
No, yeah, some people are crazy. I'm not even going to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's definitely funny, though.
Yeah.
I love it. That's how, like, half of my family talks. Like, they just country as hell. Like, but it's cool. It's cool down there. It's slower. It's simple. I definitely like it.
We never talked about this on the interview. How'd you end up in Philly? That's where you're at right now, right?
My family from Philly. My family OD from Philly.
Okay.
From my mom's side and my dad's side. I just started looking at genealogy reports. They've been here since like the late 1800s.
Dang.
Like South Philly predominantly. And yeah, my granddad, he joined the military. He met my grandma in Philly. And then I think he had my mom, I think, in South Carolina. She had my uncle in Philly, and then had my other uncle in Germany. But then they ended up, because he was in the military, but then he ended up going to South Carolina. They stayed there. And it was just like, that's how the South Carolina branch came about. And then another aunt of mine went to South Carolina, and like they kind of just based down there. But everybody from my family really come from Philly, for real. Like, been here more than 100 years. Like, that blew my mind finding that out, seeing addresses, all type of stuff. It's like, it's crazy. And for the most part, it was just always like a somewhat free place, from what I hear. Like, my great granddad is white, and like you kind of get taught for the most part that any like biracial relationship for the most part was just on some like rape shit. But it's like, I mean, I'm very well sure that was a reality, but like, I don't know, it kind of seems like in the North that didn't really like, people didn't really care as much. Apparently my like great grandfather and grandmother just interracial and just totally chilling and raised a family, and like, yeah, then everybody else was black from then on. But like, yeah, that's like my 3% white going crazy. That's why I eat my steak medium rare.
Is that, hold on, is that a white thing?
No, I swear all black people eat their steak like well done.
Dude, I be getting mine like medium. Like, or no, medium rare. Yeah, like I just want it like
Medium rare
seared.
is the way to go.
Huh?
Medium rare is the way to go. That's how I like it. It's the most tender. It gives it, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the thing for me, is the tenderness. Like, you be getting that shit well done, it'd be like rubber.
It's
Unless
like
you're just
jerky.
eating some expensive ass steak. You know, I mean, maybe I'm just too broke for that fucking tender well done. I don't
Yeah,
know.
my aunties, they gonna tell you I don't like that blood in my shit, and it don't matter how many times you try to fucking explain it's not blood. I don't like blood in my shit. They gonna cook it until they don't see no red. It's just all right. I'm not eating steak there. Like, it just, it's what it is.
Hell no. Yeah, I want my shit bloody. Like, even if it ain't blood, I just want all that shit in my mashed potatoes and shit. And I just,
A little bit of drizzle.
yeah, man. Yeah. And I don't do gravy either. You think, like, being from the South, I'd be doing.
What is gravy? It's like a roux, right? Like flour inside all the pot with the shit that just cooked.
Yeah, it's just shitty is what it is. It's just a big pile of shit. I don't care for it, man.
This is
Like,
a big pile of shit.
that's all it is. It's what it looks like. It's what it is. Because that shit be pissing me off. You go somewhere and get some shit, and they're like, "Oh, you want gravy with that?" Like, they don't even ask you down here. They just give it to you. It's like, I didn't ask for that. Plain. I would just want that shit scooped out. Like, I don't want no shit on it. But yeah. Anyways, I think like I'll be the only one to move out of Kentucky. All my family stayed in Kentucky. And don't get me wrong, I love Kentucky, but dude, I mean, I got shit I gotta do, and I can't do it here. You know what I mean?
How long your family been there?
I mean, I haven't done the genealogy. Maybe I need to do that shit. But I mean, yeah, everybody that I know, my great grandpa, both sides, Kentucky.
And how old was your mom when she had you?
20.
20?
21.
So you could probably, and you were the oldest?
I'm the youngest. I have a brother that's 4 years older.
Wait, what? You have a brother that's 40 years old?
4 years older.
Oh.
We have
So
different moms. We have different moms. We half
Oh,
brothers.
Okay.
We half, but we act like we're whole.
No, yeah, no. You know, my brother's got different moms too.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, no. Sometimes that's just how I be working, because it's just like all women in my family. It like it could tell you a kind of sense of how far the generation has gone back. Like it's like all of the women in my family had kids when they were like anywhere from 14 to 21. So it's just like you just trace that back. Okay, that's a generation about every 20 years. Like,
Oh, okay.
from what I know, that's like, so my great grandma's 80 something, and then her mom had her, and like, yeah, so my so her grandma's like from 1914 if she was born in 1932.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so you just trace it back like that.
To some degree, you can. So if you have a great granddad that lives there, or even if you have his age, I guess that's a lot simpler way of doing it.
Yeah, I'll have to do that and figure that out. But yeah, like as far as immediate, I'll be the only one to move out. Like,
Yeah, but that's fire.
but I gotta do it, man. I gotta change the trajectory. I gotta do something different. You know what I mean? Like we were saying earlier, there's a lot about the landscape that's changed. Like, I mean, we do have the luxury of being able to be in Kentucky and Philly and be talking right now. You know what I mean? And not have to be in the same place. But at the same time, like, there's just so much more opportunity in the bigger cities. You know, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. You know, and the people I need to meet, the rooms I need to be in, they're not here. And part of that is just knowing, like you were talking about with the business model, just knowing where the opportunity is half of finding the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and just wait for one, and it may come and it may not, or I could go and find it.
But it's almost like it's a million ways to skin a cat, bro. Like, it's some people who are like from the middle of fucking nowhere that just got a YouTube channel popping off of nothing just because they're good on the internet. Had crazy buzz on SoundCloud or something just because they're good on the internet. And then there's some people that everyone knows them in the city, and then in a city like this, and it's just like they still ain't shit.
That's
Only
true.
got like 4,000 or 5,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's what I'm saying. The coin fall different for everybody, and it's really just all based on your trajectory, and it's plenty of ways to get on top of a building. You feel me? So it's like it's no one way. Just whatever feels like it's right for you is what you should go for. If you feel like, don't get me wrong, a change of environment definitely helps. But what I have noticed is like, especially from all my family, it's just a lot more slow paced in the South, and people from the North a lot of times have it a lot easier going to the South than the people from the South do coming to the North. Because the North is just a bunch of rude, aggressive assholes that only care about themselves, and the South is hospitable and, like, in a way, warm and friendly. You know, obviously you have certain factions that, you know, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's like it's more of a general sense of respect, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see that same motherfucker tomorrow or the next day or next week. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you could just see somebody in New York, tell them to go eat shit and fall on the train, you'll never see that person again in your life. So just make sure to say that to the next guy.
True.
It's like 7 million people.
True. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think right now. I mean, the only person that I know for sure would be like a J. Cole that came from, like, you know, Carolina, came to New York. And even still, it wasn't like it just happened overnight. You know what I mean? There was a grind. But I think, like, sometimes it's about what gives you that angst. Me and you talked about it before on the first one. Like, what some people view as a setback could be your setup. It's all about your perception. It's all about how you handle that setback. You know what I mean? Maybe it is a setback, but maybe it's the thing that's going to set you apart. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's the thing that gives you the fire. You know, like even using the 50 Cent illustration again, like, I mean, that gives you angst. That gives you like, this has to happen. What's going to happen? Get rich or die trying. Which one happened? You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need the angst, and so sometimes the change in the environment gives you the angst, because where are you going to go? You don't have the friend down the road anymore. You don't have the, you know, like you literally only have you and your talent, you know, and that's it.
That's definitely a fact.
So, yeah. Well, man, I've enjoyed it. I won't keep you too much longer, and we'll be looking for the videos, man, for everything you're going to be putting out.
Hell yeah. It'll definitely be out soon, man. Thank you for having me on here. It's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll catch you next time. I've been Shawn from DevoApparel.store, Raw.Deen. Well, what's your website for your merch and everything?
War.com. Really at war.com.
Really at
war.com. Really at war.com.
Yes, I love it. I didn't want to chop the name up. I wanted to say the Art of War. I don't know why. I do know why. The first interview we did, you talked about the Art of War. So Really at War, the Art of War, it's stuck in my mind. ReallyAtWar.com, not for sale on all streaming platforms.
Not for sale on all streaming platforms right now. Don't you fucking forget it.
I love when you get really close to the mic, like just.
Hell yeah, it's just such a warm feeling.
This has been Inspired Conversations. I'm Shawn, Raw.Deen.
Yo, it almost like feels like an old sports podcast, like OJ going for the 50-yard touchdown.
I always love the golf announcing. Like the.
Yeah, they're just super low.
It's 200 par. Like I couldn't do that shit.
Yeah, I would laugh every fucking time. All right, bro. Well, it's been good. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Later, man. Over and out.
I'll let you, man. Out and over.